Hi, everyone. I am on with my friend Jackie Simic, who is also an EFT practitioner, and she has agreed to do a coronavirus relief EFT tapping session. So I am going to let her take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here. I know that all of you are probably going through a lot, and so hopefully this will be helpful in letting you feel your feelings and acknowledge them, release them, and come back to yourself a little bit more and feel a little more grounded and more certainty, trying to go back to pre-corona feelings. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm going to go over a few things. The first is that we are going to be touching our face. That I'm actually going to make that optional for you. If you want to skip over the face points, you can just do the other ones. We just got some new this is new to you, Barbara, too. We just got some new guidelines coming out of where I'm certified through, just to help protect everybody. So I'll just go over the points for now. So the side of the hand is where we're going to start, and we're just going to gently tap on that fleshy part. It doesn't matter which hand you're tapping on, as long as you're tapping on the side part. And we'll be there for a few statements. I'm going to lead everything, and you just repeat just how Barbara's going to repeat me. You would be repeating the same things. And then we're going to move to the top of the head. And then this is optional, but the eyebrow meets the nose. And then following that bone that's around your eye, the outside of the eye. So you want to make sure you're kind of closer to the eye than you are the temple or the hairline. And then under the eye. And then typically we're under the nose, and they've asked us to skip that point for everybody. So I'm going to try. I'm on muscle memory, so I might forget a little, but I'm going to try and skip over that. And then where the chin is, you have a little like fold in your chin. So the point is there. And then you can come down. And so if you wanted to go straight from head to here, that's fine if you want to skip your face. But coming down to the collarbone, so you follow your collarbone down to this little point, and it's just a slight half inch down, half under. You kind of going to feel this little pocket under the bone, and you can tap there, and you can tap with one hand if you want, or like this. Kids do it like this, so it's really forgiving. And then the side of the body. So underneath the side of the body, you have about a hand's width distance. That's probably the bottom of your bra, and you're on your rib cage, basically. So it's kind of like this, or you can go across, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And again, you only have to do one side. And then just bringing it across underneath, you can just kind of end on the edge of the rib here. And then we go back up to the top of the head. The crown of the head. So that's it. Very easy. You just follow along. And so I know that Barbara has spoken to many of you and gathered up some of the things that you're going through. So I'm excited to do that. So before you start all the tapping, whether or not you're going to touch your face or not, I would encourage you to go wash your hands, and your keyboard or your mouse or anything that you're touching, just disinfect that. Just can never be too careful, and just take responsibility for your overall health and well-being. Okay.
Great, thank you. So
this is where I would typically ask a client that I'm working with, like what's going on and what they would like to have relief from. So I know, Barbara, you've expressed, like you and I have been chatting, so you have some of personal stuff going on, but also some things that you've gathered up from your community, and such a beautiful way to give back by asking for that feedback from them and then being able to provide this.
Thanks. So some of my fears are interwoven in things that I've collected from friends and colleagues and clients. So here we go. There's one of the big one that came up is no clear end in sight. Number 2, no control, anger at irresponsible people and leadership, guilt for not being able to really help those people who need it, food for children. I mean, this is parents feeling there's not going to be enough food for kids because the shelves at the supermarkets are not getting replenished. Pressure to protect older people like our parents, and also staying calm and keeping a peaceful outlook and not making our kids nervous. Money, major mega fear, zero income coming in for some of the people that I know ever since this started. And, you know, what's the future going to look like? Fear of losing a job, home, all of the savings. And also people who are, you know, home alone in their homes, that they're feeling, you know, like they want to be able to socialize with people and they feel stuck because they're just, you know, alone. So those are the ones that came up a lot.
Okay.
Oh, one more. This one's so afraid of, if, you know, somebody who has a family member who's very sick and they are overseas and maybe they pass away and we won't be able to get to them before that happens.
Okay. I'm just taking notes. You know, when I typically work with you, I type on the computer,
Yeah.
but the way I have this set up, because we're all doing whatever we can. And so I know I don't know your community well, but I literally flew in from overseas a day ago. So I am cooped up in California. I normally live in Manhattan. So I've kind of abandoned my apartment for now. And so I set this all up so the computer is sitting on pillows. So if I typed, the screen would be all shaking everywhere, and then you guys would be like, okay, my problem is that you're making me dizzy. So I'm taking hand notes like my back in the day when I first started tapping like 5 years ago. All right, so I'm going to try and group these a little bit so that, you know, they make some sense, and we can do a couple rounds. And what's the biggest one for you, Barbara?
For me, I would say, you know, there's no end. We don't know when this is going to end right now.
Okay.
I mean, mine, I vacillate, you know, they're new every day.
Yeah. Okay. And what kind of emotions does that bring up for you?
I don't know. I can't even connect to an emotion. It's more like I feel paralyzed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And like, you're not feeling an emotion. Do you feel anything in your body when you think about how long is this going to last?
Well, when I start really thinking about it, because then all of these other thoughts start coming in. It's really been in my stomach. My ulcers have started acting up since last Thursday. Not that everybody needs to know that, but yeah.
We're all human. We all have something,
yeah.
I guess. Okay. And like on a scale of 1 to 10, how 10 being the most intense and 0 and 1, you know, being like you don't think about it, on a scale like that, where do you feel like this is falling for you?
Right now, or I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay. So right now it's probably 5.
Okay. Okay. So for those that are new to tapping, what we do with tapping is we go right into the problem, the issue, because really it's our truth. We're not going to try and sugarcoat it. We're not going to try and put affirmations on top of it and pretend it's not happening. And so while we're doing that, while we're going to the place that doesn't feel so great, the tapping itself is sending a calming signal to our body. And so that's how it works. It kind of is telling our body, yes, these things are going on, and I'm acknowledging them and I'm holding space for them. And at the same time, I'm allowing myself to relax and to get calmer and to get out of fight or flight. This works directly with the amygdala, which is our fight or flight center. And we really want to get the nervous system back into rest and relax. And when it's in rest and relax, it's also in a repair mode. And so just wanting you guys to know that how important this is for your bodies right now, for your immunity, because every day our body is coming into contact with things that could be potentially harmful. And our body has a very beautiful defense system that it is working all of the time. And so the way that we support that defense system is by letting our bodies relax and rest. It's also called rest and digest. So it also helps us with food digestion, which plays into the immunity, right? Because we want to get our nutrients and our vitamins and things like that. So this is, even if you don't relate to these words, it's just really nice to let your body get into that mode. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna ask you right before we start just to take a nice grounding breath in and just deep down into your belly. And then as you exhale, just allow it to be a little bit longer than your inhale. And I'm just gonna let you do that again. Nice deep breath in, let the belly expand, let it go nice and deep into the belly and let it out. Yes, very good, okay. All right, so we're gonna start tapping. Even though I feel like I've lost control.
Even though I feel like I've lost control.
And I don't know when this is gonna end.
And I don't know when this is going to end.
I accept all of the feelings that are coming up.
I accept all of the feelings that are coming up.
And I choose to honor them.
And I choose to honor them.
Even though I feel like I've lost control.
Even though I feel like I've lost control.
And I have no idea when this is going to end.
And I have no idea when this is going to end.
Because I can't trust our government.
Because I can't trust our government.
Or other people.
Or other people.
They're making this worse.
They're making this worse.
And it feels like it's never going to end.
And it feels like it's never going to end.
And I choose to acknowledge these feelings.
And I choose to acknowledge these feelings.
And I choose to allow myself.
And I choose to allow myself.
To feel safe.
To feel safe.
In this moment.
In this moment.
Even though I feel like I'm out of control.
Even though I feel like I'm out of control.
I have no control over things.
I have no control over things.
And I'm angry.
And I'm angry.
At our leadership.
At our leadership.
For not protecting us.
For not protecting us.
And other people.
And other people.
For taking this too casually.
For taking this too casually.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
And I'm making the sacrifice.
And I'm making the sacrifice.
As I feel. That I've lost control.
That I've lost control.
Over all these other things.
Over all these other things.
And they're going to have an impact on me.
And they're going to have an impact on me.
On my finances.
On my finances.
On my family.
On my family.
On my daily life.
On my daily life.
And I acknowledge all that's coming up for me right now.
And I acknowledge all of that's coming up for me right now.
All of these thoughts.
All of these thoughts.
I feel this worry in my stomach.
I feel this worry in my stomach.
I feel all this fear in my stomach.
I feel all this fear in my stomach.
And this lack of control.
And this lack of control.
And I acknowledge that right now.
And I acknowledge that right now.
And I choose to release a bit of it.
And I choose to release a little bit of it.
And recognize that I am safe.
And recognize that I am safe.
In this moment.
In this moment.
Okay. Top of the head. I have no control.
I have no control.
I don't have any control.
I don't have any control.
Everything happening around me.
Everything happening around me.
I don't have any control.
I don't have any control.
Let's get down to here. There's no end in sight.
There's no end in sight.
I don't know when this is going to end.
I don't know when this is going to end.
And I feel powerless.
And I feel powerless.
I have no control.
I have no control.
I'm trying to do what I can.
I'm trying to do what I can.
Even if it doesn't feel like enough.
Even if it doesn't feel like enough.
I'm staying inside.
I'm staying inside.
I'm isolating.
I'm isolating.
I'm following the rules.
I'm following the rules.
But it's hard.
But it's hard.
And what makes it harder?
And what makes it harder?
Is other people.
Is other people.
Who don't care.
Who don't care.
Who aren't doing that.
who aren't doing that,
who are making it worse
who are making it worse
for all of us.
for all of us.
The impact
The impact
is going to be worse
is going to be worse
if people don't do their part.
people don't do their part.
I'm angry at them.
I'm angry at them.
And I'm angry at our leadership.
And I'm angry at the leadership.
They're not doing enough.
They're not doing enough.
I'm trying to do so much.
I'm trying to do so much.
Staying inside.
Staying inside.
I'm going stir crazy.
I'm going stir crazy.
And yet other people aren't doing their part.
aren't doing their part.
I feel like I'm making a sacrifice.
I feel like I'm making a sacrifice.
And for what?
And for what?
I'm angry at them.
I'm angry at them.
I'm angry for not doing their part.
I'm angry at them for not doing their part.
For making this longer
For making this longer
than it has to be.
than it has to be.
Costing me more.
Costing me more.
More of my future.
More of my future.
Our freedom.
Our freedom.
My finances.
My finances.
The impact on my job.
The impact on my job.
My house.
My house.
My savings.
My savings.
All that I have.
All that I have.
All that I've worked for.
All that I've worked for.
Feels like it's in jeopardy.
Feels like it's in jeopardy.
And I'm doing what I can.
And I'm doing what I can.
But it doesn't feel like enough.
But it doesn't feel like enough.
It feels like everything's loose.
Feels like everything's loose.
And it feels like everything is vulnerable.
Feels like everything is vulnerable.
I feel vulnerable.
I feel vulnerable.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Staying home.
Staying home.
But that's really tough.
But it's really tough.
It's hard to be home.
It's hard to be home.
Especially alone.
Especially alone.
Staying home.
Staying home.
In these four walls.
In these four walls.
It's tough to not go outside.
Tough to not go outside.
It's tough to not have normal routine.
It's tough to not have a normal routine.
To feel like I've lost my freedom.
To feel like I've lost my freedom.
I feel trapped.
I feel trapped.
How does that feel for you? Accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel stuck.
Feel stuck.
Stuck inside.
Stuck inside.
Having to surrender.
Having to surrender.
To all that's happening.
To all that's happening.
Outside.
Outside.
Outside of myself.
Outside of myself.
All of these things.
All of these things.
That I can't control.
That I can't control.
And I have a lot of fear.
And I have a lot of fear.
About the future.
About the future.
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
How long will this last?
How long will this last?
What is the impact?
What is the impact?
That it's going to have?
That it's going to have?
How much will I lose?
How much will I lose?
I acknowledge all of these feelings.
I acknowledge all these feelings.
Even though I'm feeling numb.
Even though I'm feeling numb.
Feeling numb and paralyzed.
Feeling numb and paralyzed.
It's hard for me to feel.
It's hard for me to feel.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
Afraid to feel my feelings.
I'm afraid to feel my feelings.
In this moment.
In this moment.
They make me feel even more vulnerable.
They make me feel even more vulnerable.
I'm trying to be tough.
I'm trying to be tough.
Trying to hold it all together.
Trying to hold it all together.
And I'm being numb about it.
And I'm being numb about it.
Shutting down.
Shutting down.
And I want my body to know.
And I want my body to know.
It's safe to feel my feelings.
It's safe to feel my feelings.
I feel better if I feel my feelings.
I feel better if I feel my feelings.
I allow them to come up.
Allow them to come up.
I allow this feeling in my stomach.
I allow this feeling in my stomach.
And for anyone watching, wherever it is in your body, you can just substitute in that place. These feelings in my stomach.
These feelings in my stomach.
This fear that I have.
This fear that I have.
Loss of control.
Loss of control.
That I'm carrying in my body.
that I'm carrying in my body.
Feel it in my stomach.
I feel it in my stomach.
Is it where in your stomach is it, Barbara? The pit or we can get more specific with the location.
Yeah, I'd say it's the pit. It's more of, it's more of
like muscle memory.
Then I'm watching you and doing it.
Yeah, sorry.
So it's, yeah, I guess it's the pit. It's almost like, it feels like it's my stomach going up into like my esophagus. It's like a burning sensation. It just like, it's like my stomach is being burned inside.
My stomach is burning.
My stomach is burning.
Like it's burning inside.
It's burning inside.
With this worry.
With this worry.
My stomach.
My stomach.
Burning inside.
Burning inside.
Up to the esophagus.
Up to the esophagus.
With this worry.
With this worry.
With this loss of control.
With this loss of control.
In my stomach.
In my stomach.
All the way from the pit of my stomach.
All the way from the pit of my stomach.
Up to my esophagus.
Up to my esophagus.
This burning of worry.
This burning of worry.
This fear.
This fear.
That I feel.
That I feel.
In my body.
In my body.
About this lack of control.
About this lack of control.
Losing control.
Losing control.
And all the fear.
And all the fear.
That comes with that loss.
That comes with that loss.
The fear for myself.
The fear for myself.
The fear for my children.
The fear for my children.
The fear for my family.
The fear for my family.
The fear for my future.
The fear for my future.
And our whole country.
And our whole country.
The economy.
The economy.
And the world.
And the world.
I have a lot of fear.
I have a lot of fear.
I'm acknowledging all that fear.
I'm acknowledging all that fear.
That lives in my body.
That lives in my body.
And I want to see.
And I want to see.
If I'm open.
If I'm open.
To releasing some of it.
To releasing some of it.
To letting go of some of this fear.
To letting go of some of this fear.
To releasing some of this tension.
To releasing some of this tension.
To allowing myself.
To allowing myself.
To feel lighter.
To feel lighter.
To allow myself.
To allow myself.
To be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable.
And surrender.
And surrender.
To allow myself to be vulnerable.
To allow myself to be vulnerable.
Without the fear.
Without the fear.
How can I
invite
in more trust?
Invite in more trust.
Trust in myself.
Trust in myself.
Trust in the future.
Trust in the future.
My own resiliency.
My own resiliency.
How can I
be
more able
to
adjust. To be agile. To this situation. Can I recall all of the times I've adjusted in the past? Can I remember that I made it through those times? It may not have been easy. But I've made it through. And I know the one thing that can help this is releasing my own resistance, my own judgment of myself. Can I trust myself? Can I believe in myself? Can I know that I'll come out of this? Stronger than before. More adaptable. More resilient. Can I trust that I'll be safe? That I'll be taken care of. That I'll be okay. Can I allow myself to feel these feelings of security, of safety, of connecting to my resilience, to my strength,
to my strength.
And to know there's ultimate strength in being vulnerable. So I acknowledge I'm vulnerable right now.
So I acknowledge that I'm vulnerable right now.
But I am also safe.
I'm
vulnerable right now.
But
I'm also strong.
I
believe in myself.
I believe in
a positive outcome.
I
allow that faith to come in.
I allow
the fear to release.
And
allow more faith to come in. Okay, so let's take a deep breath there. So how are you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay. So you were at like a 5 and you said you were like paralyzed and numb in your stomach. Do you want to just check back in with some of that?
Oh, my stomach's feeling okay. Definitely feeling more of like a 3. Like I'm just home talking to you. Yeah. Like there's nothing happening outside in the world that's different than usual.
Cool. I feel like I tried to get in as much as I could. Let's do a little bit more on that about the being home, right? Because like somebody in your network said that they want to feel calm, peaceful for the kids, and our kids are like a beautiful motivation for us to really step up and be the best versions of ourselves. And we always want to obviously leave a little space for ourselves to process our feelings. And, but we also want that same piece that we want to give our children, we want to be able to give ourselves, right? So some of us don't have children, or we're living alone right now, right? We're home, we're stuck isolating by ourselves. So just giving ourselves a little bit more peace, like you said, like to enjoy being at home. And it's so interesting as humans, right? Like we're New Yorkers, most of us, right? So we're go all the time. We always ask for more time at home, more time with our loved ones, ourselves, our family. Oh, if I just had more time, I would work out or meditate, like all these things, right? So, but now we're given it, but we're not given it on our terms. And we're also given it with this fear kind of cloud that's come up like around it. And so it's really hard to take care of ourselves, things like meditate or have fun cooking. Like we might even feel guilt for having a little bit of fun right now, or enjoyment, or connection. And so let's allow ourselves to have that. It's okay for us to really get present, to really make our own atmosphere at home and like enjoy it, feel good about taking care of ourselves, and knowing that that is part of like the best we can do, not just for ourselves, but for everybody else around us, because then we can help lift other people up around us. We're all so interconnected.
Right. Especially if we're feeling healthy. Like if we, don't have the virus or haven't been tested and aren't asymptomatic, don't know about that. It's really important, because having us go into that spiral is really easy, even when nothing's going wrong in this moment.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's take a step back. And like Jackie said, it's about like, I was actually thinking about that last night. I was like, it's so ironic because everyone I know is always like, oh my God, I wish I just had more time to be home. There's so much I have to do at home. Like there's so many projects that I want to do around the house. And it's like, all of a sudden this happens. So it becomes like, that's another paralyzing thing. Like I can't even think of the things that I wanted to do when I had extra time because I'm so overwhelmed with all of the
So
the stress.
Exactly. I know some of the projects that people want to work on are creative, and when we're stressed and like, because I coach entrepreneurs, and like, so when people are stressed out about their businesses, they can't come up with a solution. They can't see things creatively and problem solve and get into that part of their brain. Literally, it's a physiological thing. So they're stuck back in that reptilian old fight or flight, and they're not in that newer part of our brain, right? That makes us humans and able to think in the future and stuff. So yeah, I can totally see how like you can't even connect back to like what the ideas were that you may have had, you know, like I'm thinking about my mother, right? She's got shoe boxes full of photos that she wants to put into photo albums. It's been her thing for 10 years, you know, and I'm like, oh, go, you know, you've got the photo albums, go do it. But she's funny. She's like, I don't know even what even happens all day, but they're kind of used to this because they're retired. But yeah. So yeah, so let's tap a little bit on, you know, what we can do with our time and just, and allowing that. Let's not judge ourselves. You know, it's not helping anybody by sitting home and just being in the spiral and being like down and feeding on the media and this, even sometimes like we need to stop the social media, right? Because some of it is very uplifting and it's great content right now, but then some of it, you know, maybe we need to numb certain, like, or not numb, but silence, mute certain accounts just to not see some of that stuff.
Or just mute it all together, because even the positive message is still bringing it back and, you know, keeping it in the space. It's like, okay, what if today is like just a Saturday and it's raining, it's gloomy, it's New York. What would I be doing today? Would I be just hanging out at home anyway? Like, if we can get into that space and keep it, you know, keep the social media and the, you know, news to a minimum for our mental health, I think it would be beneficial for everyone, because it is about lifting the vibration, you know, for ourselves and our buildings and our homes and our communities, you know, and that should spread to other states, nationally, internationally, because the more we stay out, because this whole thing is clearly an example of how we are all connected as human beings. Mm-hmm. And someone who is sick in China is now connected to someone who is sick in New York. We're connected. This pandemic has really shown us how connected we are. And I think that, you know, if we're feeling miserable and we're really not impacted in the immediate in terms of other than having to stay home, then that we can use that as a way to really lift ourselves up by doing anything that's positive and creative in our home.
And there's been so many studies that show, you know, like I think there was one in DC years ago where like a group of monks started meditating and the crime rate went down. And, you know, so the people that were actually like susceptible to committing those crimes were not a part of those meditations, yet it just helped overall. And so, you know, if you don't want to like go and sit on a meditation cushion, like I'm not telling you to, like, but living your life with joy, positivity, creation right now, that overall, that helps lift your mood and that helps lift everything, because we do pick up energy from each other. And in New York City, especially, it's funny because the energy zone is 1.5 meters, and I think that's our separation right now. But you know, trust me, you're feeling the neighbor upstairs, you're feeling the neighbor to your right and left. And so if you can be in a more positive place, not only will you benefit from that, but that is your contribution. You know, I know there was like somebody brought up guilt for not contributing enough. That really is like the way you can contribute right now. So let's see if we can open up a little bit more of that allowing.
And then also the reason why like I like to do the tapping is because, so what happens for me is when I become in that space of like overwhelm or, oh my God, it's the end of the world, I'm too high strung to sit down and meditate. And I meditate every day, twice a day. So actually what tapping does for me is help me get back to neutral. So then I can go and meditate. It's like that step of like getting me calm. So then I can go do the creative thing. So then I can go and do that. And that's really why I wanted to bring it to my network, because if they're feeling overwhelmed and they're feeling like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I feel so overly anxious, like this is a great way that I find to really get me to that neutral place so that I can go on and do other things other than stress and freak out.
Yeah. And not only does it give you that relief in the moment, but depending on the words that we choose and what we work on, the belief systems and stuff, it rewires the brain so you get more relief in the future. So it's an in the moment relief, but it's also helping to reduce the amount of reaction that you're having in the future. And we know like the studies are just amazing about it. And I'm going to host another tapping circle this coming week just to get the timing right. But we just saw like a study that they replicated an in-person study, a one-on-one person study that was showing cortisol, which is the stress hormone, a drop in it of 22% in person, one-on-one. And they took that study and they replicated it for one to many. So one practitioner delivering to a group, and the drop was 43% because there's an additional benefit of all of us doing it together. So it's just off the charts. We know I love meditation. I'm a daily meditator too, but in just terms of comparison for that stress relief, because we're working so much with just the part of our brain that is responsible for stress reaction, meditation's at 11%. And now we know that like with tapping in a group, we're 43%.
I know, it's
so
amazing.
We know it's really physically changing the body. So let's do some more of it so that people can get more relief. And maybe Barbara, like, I don't know if everybody wants to listen to our chit chat. So I mean, I think it's helpful, but some people probably just want the tapping. So maybe when you send this out, you just can tell them the 2 tappings start at these times, and if they want to like,
that's a good idea.
That might be helpful. Yeah. As I have clients that just want to press the record button when we start tapping. Yeah. Okay. All right. So even though I'm stuck at home, and a part of me always wanted this time. Now that I have it, I'm too stressed out to enjoy it. I can't enjoy this. I can't relax. And I acknowledge that's how I'm feeling. And I choose to forgive myself. For any self-judgment. Even though I have all this time on my hands. And I could be using it wisely. I can't. I'm stuck in fear. I'm spiraling out. And I feel like I don't have control. And I acknowledge all of these feelings. And I'm ready to release them. And open myself up. To the possibility. Of feeling better. Even though I have all this time on my hands. And it's something I always wanted. I had all those projects. Good intentions. Ways that I can invest in myself. Spend my time. Connecting with my family. Now I have that moment. And I can't seem to take advantage of it. I feel stressed. And I feel fear. I can't relax. I feel like it's too much time. And I just want to get out. I want the hours to go by. I can't get grounded. And I acknowledge where I am. And I open myself up. To the idea. I can enjoy this time. I can leverage this time. It can be useful. And I allow that. Without any judgment. Of myself. Top of the head. I have all this time. I thought it'd be a good thing. But it doesn't feel like it. It wasn't on my terms. I'm stuck. I have all this time. But I don't like it. I'm not feeling good. I'm spending all this time. In fear. In worry. I'm anxious. And I'm stressed. Therefore, I can't be productive. I don't even remember. All the things I wanted to do. I can't remember the projects. I can't remember the things I wanted to learn. The things I wish I had enough time for. I wonder if I can go back to those moments. Where I was stuck at the office. Or on the subway. And wishing I could be home. Can I go back to those moments?
Can I go back to those moments?
And remember what it was I wanted to create.
What it was I wanted to create.
How I wanted to spend my time.
How I wanted to spend my time.
Should I want to learn to cook something?
Should I want to learn to cook something?
Did I want to make a special dinner?
Did I want to make a special dinner?
Did I want to have a special game?
Did I want to have a special game?
Or story time?
Or story time?
Time with my kids?
I'm with my kids.
Can I introduce to them?
What can I introduce to them?
That I had when I was little.
That I had when I was little.
How I used to play.
How I used to play.
Can I show them some new ideas?
Can I show them some new ideas?
Can I enjoy the time?
Can I enjoy the time?
Can I allow myself to be present?
Can I allow myself to be present?
Is it okay?
Is it okay
for me to allow happiness?
For me to allow happiness?
For me to be in some joy?
For me to be in some joy?
For me to be in creation?
For me to be in creation?
How easy can that be?
How easy can that be?
For me to allow myself.
For me to allow myself.
To get grounded.
To get grounded.
To be in the present.
To be in the present.
To even allow myself.
To even allow myself.
To get lost.
To get lost.
Lost in my project.
Lost in my project.
Lost in this book.
Lost in this book.
In this creation.
In this creation.
In this time of play.
In this time of play.
Can I allow myself to relax?
Can I allow myself to relax?
And be present.
And be present.
And enjoy this.
And enjoy this.
Being with myself.
Being with myself.
Or connecting with others.
Or connecting with others.
In new ways.
In new ways.
Can I allow this?
Can I allow this?
Can it be easy?
Can it be easy?
Can I find enjoyment?
Can I find enjoyment?
Can I be grateful?
Can I be grateful?
For this amazing gift of time.
For this amazing gift of time.
To look around.
To look around.
And see that I have everything.
To see that I have everything.
Everything I need.
Everything I need.
And to look within.
And to look within.
And know that I have everything.
And know that I have everything.
Within myself.
Within myself.
So I trust myself.
So I trust myself.
And I allow myself.
And I allow myself.
To relax.
To relax.
For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
For everyone in my life.
For everyone in my life.
That I'm connected to.
That I'm connected to.
That I know of.
That I know of.
And everyone I'm connected to.
And everyone I'm connected to.
That I don't know of.
That I don't know of.
This is how I do my part.
This is how I do my part.
To help the world right now.
To help the world right now.
I allow myself.
I allow myself.
To feel joy.
To feel joy.
To feel happiness.
To feel happiness.
And to feel gratitude.
And to feel gratitude.
And at the same time.
And at the same time.
I can also allow.
I can also allow.
Any other feelings to come forth.
Any other feelings to come forth.
I don't need to control my feelings.
I don't need to control my feelings.
I can simultaneously. Feel vulnerable.
Feel vulnerable.
And feel happiness.
Feel happiness.
I can feel some fear.
I can feel some fear.
And I can feel some joy.
And I can feel some joy.
And I allow things to flow.
And I allow things to flow.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I trust everything around me.
I trust everything around me.
I can handle what's happening.
I can handle what's happening.
I can actually do well.
I can actually do well.
Through this situation.
Through this situation.
And when it's all over.
And when it's all over.
I'm going to look back.
I'm going to look back.
And feel so grateful.
And feel so grateful.
For myself.
For myself.
For my strength.
For my strength.
My vulnerability.
My vulnerability.
My choices.
My choices.
My allowing.
My allowing.
Allowing all of it to flow.
Allowing all of it to flow.
Allowing myself to make the best.
Allowing for myself to make the best.
Out of a tough situation.
Out of a tough situation.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath there. How you feel?
Good.
All right, good. Well, I hope, you guys come up with some creative ways to pass the time, and not just pass it, intentionally, but really get lost in those projects. I had a bit of jet lag last night, so I watched 40 minutes of how to make sourdough bread on YouTube. And all you need is flour and water, because you make the starter thing you got to grow for 7 days. So maybe I'll have bread at the end of this.
Sounds great.
Do you have anything in mind, Barbara, that you maybe can inspire your community that you've been putting off, that maybe you want, that you're going to spend some time with now?
I think doing more like inner work, journaling, writing, it's been really helpful for me, and it's making me feel better. Reading more books. I mean, I heard some people are even learning new languages, which that's not me.
Yeah, I think Babbel, which is an app, is giving 6 months free or something like that.
That's amazing.
So, there's so many amazing resources going on right now. So
yeah, I made cookies. I made peanut butter, gluten-free vegan cookies that were really good. So
yeah. So I think the big thing is just there's so much available. So just check in with yourself and where your resistance might be to that, because you are deserving. You can allow yourself to grow in this time. We don't have to sit paralyzed in fear, and just come back to acknowledging that you're safe in this moment. You're safe in your home. You're going to get through this. And if you need any additional support, I know Barbara's opened herself up to you guys. And if you need any support, you can always reach out to me as well.
Yep. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So good to see you and connect with you. All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay, have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.